Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's ribbon cutting ceremony of Mammoth Solar. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Lisa Dan, and I am the Executive Director of the Stark County Economic Development Foundation. Our role at the foundation, Stark County's local economic development organization, was originally to provide good jobs for the residents of Stark County so that more people could work in the county instead of having to drive elsewhere for work. But today it is so much more. From the development of industrial parks in Knox, Hamlet, and North Judson, to assistance in training and workforce development needs through the Stark County Initiative for Lifelong Learning, to the attraction of new business and industry, and the expansions of current companies, as well as the many quality of place efforts in which we are a part. And now, as a leader in the attraction of renewable energy to the area, the foundation has come a long way from where it started 36 years ago. Mammoth Solar, developed by Doral Renewables LLC, formerly Global Energy Generation, is an important milestone for Stark County and the state of Indiana. We are proud to play host for one of the largest solar farms in the country that will create hundreds of jobs, draw millions of dollars in investment, and generate hundreds of megawatts of clean energy. To get this program started, I am proud to welcome the president and co-founder of Doral LLC, Nick Cohen.
Thank you, Lisa, and everybody for coming out here today. It's really turning out to be a beautiful day. I want to just start out by saying this project, it's really personal to me. My mother grew up here in Tipton, and our family's from Tipton. My grandmother, she built fire engines in Tipton, Indiana. And then I went out in the world and developed projects all over the place. And finally, I came back here to Indiana. And I have a fan club of Phyllis and Tammy. They're out there somewhere from Indianapolis. Yeah, thanks for coming out. When we first came here, we met with landowners in the local restaurants. We went to their homes, sat on their front porches. We met in barns. We drank their beer, and we listened. We learned, what was important to them, and we formed a bond. This has never happened on any project that I've ever been involved in 15 years. These people are like family. And it's not just the landowners, but it's just the community. There's a lot of people who aren't even the landowners who are supporting this project. I have never seen anything like it. It goes all the way to the top. We have Governor Holcomb here. He went to Israel, and he had meetings, and when you do things like that, it makes it a lot easier for people like us to come along and invest $1.5 billion. It really does. Thank you. The benefits are clear. It's over 500 construction jobs for 3 years. It's hundreds of millions of contracts to local vendors. It's millions in tax revenue. These are black and white advantages. This is a benefit to the ecology. This is the future, and Indiana is part of it. Indiana is one of the most competitive places in America. It is the most competitive place for something like this. And when it comes to investment, a lot more goes into it than just the fundamentals. Sure, we sold our power to American Electric Power. They're here in the room. Thank you guys. This is great. The business fundamentals are there, but it really is the people. When you make an investment like this, especially when it's coming from people who don't know everybody, and then they get such a warm response from so many people. It's broad. It's not just one or two people towing the rope. It's everybody. Look in this room. It's just everybody, and that makes it a lot easier when it comes to making an investment like this. This is probably the biggest renewable energy investment in America, and it's happening right here. So we're really proud to be doing it. It's the human factor, it's definitely the human factor, it's the Indiana factor, So thank you very much. We have a short video that we put together with some of the stakeholders. We hope you'll enjoy it. It's a few minutes, and then we'll move on with the program. So again, thank you very much.
Mammoth Solar, located in Indiana's Stark and Pulaski counties, is dispersed within 13,000 acres of farm fields and will generate 1.3 gigawatts of clean energy, enough to provide for 247,000 Midwestern households annually. Mammoth Solar is developed by Doral LLC, a joint venture formed in 2019 by Doral Group and Clean Air Generation, dedicated to the development of greenfield renewable energy projects.
We're really proud to be here today introducing Mammoth Solar to Stark and Pulaski County. We can all be proud to have one of the most exciting solar projects in America right here in Indiana, proving that Indiana is the most competitive place in America to bring a sustainable business like this.
Farms have always produced food, fuel, and fiber. Now we're going to harvest the sun. It's no different. We're going to harvest the sun, but we're going to turn it into energy. It's a new crop.
We're just going to go from farming potatoes, corns, and beans to farming sun. So that's pretty much. It's not really going to change a lot of what we do. We'll just have a different crop in our fields.
This project in Stark County is so important for many reasons, but really the pinnacle of it is that it isn't that often that you have something that benefits the whole public.
Doral believes that the most important aspect of project development is the partnership with the local communities. Ultimately, the impact of what we do is revitalizing rural America by attracting investments, creating jobs, and generating renewable energy to communities across the country.
We live in a county that is that needs an investment. We're excited about solar coming to the county. The county will benefit greatly.
The Mammoth Solar project will create 500 new construction jobs for 3 years and generate approximately $1.5 billion in economic investment, which will firmly put the state of Indiana and Indiana farmers at the forefront of solar energy.
Well, I'm excited about this project because I think it'll be good with the tax revenues, the extra jobs. There'll be a lot of people working, putting the panels in, and several working to keep them going when they're here, and I think it'll be good for the community.
For the community, there's an increased tax base, and that money can be used for schools, improvement on roads, lots of infrastructure.
Mammoth Solar will also be beneficial for the environment, as it will displace 40,000 tons of greenhouse gas emissions and save 1 billion gallons of irrigation well water annually. The native grasses and agrovoltaic practices will promote the pollinators and allow the farmland to regenerate for future farming generations.
Now that land is producing year-round. I see solar as a year-round harvesting the sun. And then what that allows them to do, it's like another crop that they're more diversified so they can be more competitive in the market.
The opportunity to put solar next to a transmission line in this part of the county, I think is just a win.
A lot of people don't know how big this project really is. It's going to put Stark County on the map.
The support from the community, the leaders, the government of Indiana and the local government has been incredible. And when you do something as exciting as Mammoth Solar, you need to have the support of the people. We couldn't do it without them. So I think that this is the best place in America to do a project, and we're realizing it right here today with the ribbon cutting. We're very proud to be bringing Mammoth Solar to northern Indiana.
Thank you, Nick. We're excited to have Doral LLC and Mammoth Solar in Indiana, and specifically in Stark County. And now it is my honor to introduce the 51st Governor of the state of Indiana, Eric Holcomb.
Lisa, you said at the outset that for those of us who didn't know you, I don't think there's anyone that doesn't know you. You are the master convener and organizer, and we appreciate all the hard work that you and Mary and the whole team, quite honestly, has put into getting us to this day. Nick, hard to say it better than you just did. If you're ever looking for a career change, I'd like to hire you. You are a good promoter of all things Indiana. To Dory, this is a sentimental day. I think for us both, and you and your team and Yaki and the whole Doral team. But when we did, as it was mentioned, when I did travel to Israel and specifically to your home, when you opened up your door and we broke bread, that was a beyond productive would be an understatement. It was both sentimental and transformational for, dare I say, your company and our state and our shared values. We got real deep into the soil, so to speak. And what has been cultivated over these months and months and months to get us to this day, to this Mammoth Solar farm and project, to be thinking about having dinner in your home and watching the sunset on the Med, and then Lisa, your and April's, I guess, token of appreciation, this sun catcher. That's quite a lot was accomplished between today and when we broke bread, and indeed when you started working on this months in advance from that. And I just want to, from the bottom of my Hoosier heart, thank you for your confidence and for believing in Hoosiers as I hope you feel it reciprocated. We want to grow together. To the ambassador, no one should ever question this man's word. He told me on a Zoom call when I was describing this project that if he could, he would be here in Knox, Indiana. And the ambassador sits here in the flesh, and we could not be more honored than you would be in Stark County, Indiana. Your and the Consul General's roles in strengthening the bond between Indiana and Israel is just as important today as it will have ever been in history. And we continue to look for all those ways in which we can be there for our friend. When I traveled over and saw Dory, I said, a friend in need's a friend indeed, and I will be here next week if need be. And you responded with, I can't wait to get to Indiana. And again, thank you for all your help, not just with today, but for all the commerce that has gone on between your nation and our state, or both our states, and what a bright future ahead, thinking about the role, the leadership role Israel has in technological advancements and all of our discussions, what that's going to lead to. It's very special that you are here. I bet I can speak for our Secretary of Commerce, Brad Chambers, is with us, and State Representative Pressel, I saw, was with us. The Commissioner, I think everyone can agree that it is a great Stark County day, and it extends far beyond the county borders. Really, Stark County is kind of the epicenter of the universe in terms of what Nick talked about, the way of the future, and the way we can care for our land, and the way we can grow our way into further prosperity. And it's a win-win-win-win-win. It's a win for Doral, it's a win for Indiana, it's a win for Stark County, it's a win for Pulaski counties. I can't wait to have a day similar to this. in Pulaski County as well. And you can just, despite the overcast, you can feel the electricity in the air. It's both almost literally, not just figuratively, but to think about this being the largest solar farm in our country being led right here at home. This is a extremely significant day, and I don't want it lost just how appreciative we are and how much we look forward to being good partners and really companions. We're energized by this, and we know what kind of attraction a Mammoth investment like this will bring. Thinking about the 1.5 billion, thinking about the 500 construction jobs, thinking about the permanent 50-some jobs right here in this world-class energy field is, you almost could say, mind-blowing when you wrap your brain around just how expansive this is and what it will lead to. So thank you so much for believing in us. We view your success as our success, and I hope you view Indiana's success as yours, and we look forward to not only you calling Indiana home. Your family's about, like I said at lunch, about 6.8 million Hoosiers bigger than it was. But we look forward to growing with you in the years to come. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Governor. Oh, I gotta bring this way down here. We're truly honored to have you joining us today. And as you know, Doral LLC is a joint venture between the Doral Group and Clean Air Generation. Doral Group is one of Israel's leading renewable energy developers. This is yet another significant U.S.-Israel partnership and great evidence of its importance and mutual profitability. Celebrating this partnership with us today, I am honored to welcome in the first ever visit to Northern Indiana by a seating Israeli ambassador, His Excellency Ambassador Gilad Erdan.
Thank you very much. Governor Holcomb, my dear friend, Consul General Inam Cohen, the chairman of Doral Energy, Dovi Davidovich, Nick Cohen, distinguished guests. Dear friends, it's always wonderful to be in the great state of Indiana and experience Hoosier hospitality and warmth. And it's always a pleasure to see you, my dear friend, Governor Holcomb. A true friend is a friend who stands by you when times are tough. When you came to Israel this past May, only days after terrorist organizations fired thousands of rockets at our cities, you showed that you are a true friend of Israel. And just as you came to show your support on Israel's soil, we are now building the future together here on Indiana's soil. A future of economic prosperity and energy independence. A future of clean air and health. The Mammoth Solar project is a milestone in the Israel-US relationship. The biggest solar energy in the United States. Yeah. This project, led by Doral Energy, a pioneer in solar energy, is a shining example of the tremendous mutual benefits of our cooperation, not only for the people of Israel and the United States, but for the entire world. Mammoth Solar will create hundreds of jobs and produce enough clean energy to power over 170,000 households annually. Instead of buying power from farmers in other states, projects like Mammoth can help Indiana's farmers become energy independent and even enable them to export power to neighboring states. But the Mammoth project will do more than just create economic benefits. By displacing 40,000 tons of greenhouse gas emissions annually, Mammoth will improve our air quality and our environment. Israel, the startup nation, is on the cutting edge of clean technology. As someone who has worked for many years as Minister of Environment and a Member of Parliament to address the challenges of climate change, I deeply believe that the US-Israel Strategic Climate Alliance can play an extremely critical role in advancing the innovation needed to ensure both strong economic growth and clean air, land, and seas for us and for our children. Of course, Mammoth Solar builds on a rich legacy of fruitful cooperation between the State of Israel and the State of Indiana. Israeli companies have already created hundreds of jobs in Indiana, and more are setting up their US base of cooperation in this great state. Indiana's export to Israel have topped $100 million. And just as we are partnering on business and the environment, we are also partnering to save lives. The Israel Defense Forces, Home Front Command, and the Indiana National Guard have held joint exercises 8 times over the last 9 years to share expertise and better prepare for urban search and rescue. In my previous role as Minister of Home Front Defense, I was very happy to support this cooperation together, because together we are making our people safer and our cities more secure. Friends, this is just the beginning. If our relationship is the Indy 500, then we are only on the first lap. By the way, I promised the governor I intend to be here during the next Indy 500 with a big delegation from Israel, with a big delegation. So, as Mammoth Solar shows, our cooperation today can help ensure that we play a leading role in the innovative industries of tomorrow. From renewable energy to smart agriculture, and from cybersecurity to life sciences. As Israel's ambassador, I am committed to furthering our relationship in every way. And just as we started together to promote economic growth, we stand together when our economies are attacked. We deeply appreciate Indiana's passage of robust counter-BDS legislation. The importance of such legislation has become clear once again with Ben & Jerry's shameful, ignorant, and hypocritical decision to boycott Israel. I was very happy to hear Governor Holcomb that you instructed your officials to examine whether Ben & Jerry's and its parent company Unilever, a British company by the way, are violating Indiana law by boycotting Israel. We must never stay silent when anti-Semitic double standards are applied against the words only Jewish state. So thank you once again, Governor Holcomb, and thank you to all the people of Indiana for your friendship and partnership. As we stand here at the crossroads of America, I look forward to continuing our journey together on the road to prosperous and sustainable future. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, Ambassador, for the strong support and this important message. Next, I would like to welcome Yinam Cohen. Consul General of Israel to the Midwest.
As Consul General of Israel to the Midwest, it is my honor to be here with all of you to mark the opening of Doral's Mammoth Solar project in Knox. And what a solar farm it is. I am so proud of the fact that Israel is a world leader in solar energy, research and production, and is now bringing that expertise to Indiana. I'd like to extend a hearty thank you to Ambassador Erdan. It's an honor to have you here with us for this occasion that is so truly emblematic of the special U.S.-Israel bond. Thank you as well to Governor Holcomb, to the executives and board of the Doral Mammoth Project, and to all the Hoosiers here with us today. The Mammoth Project is yet just another example of the great partnership between Israel and Indiana. The ambassador and I have just discussed with Governor Holcomb some new exciting opportunities for cooperation. Those range from agricultural technologies to smart mobility, which will result in an increase in jobs and greater prosperity for both states. The state of Indiana has a long tradition of strong support of Israel. One of the Hoosier state's greatest sons, former Governor and Vice President Mike Pence, was honored just last week by the Israel Allies Foundation, the ambassador was there too, for his long-standing commitment to the Jewish state. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank you, Governor Holcomb, not only for your work on this incredible initiative, but also for your long and abiding friendship to the state of Israel and to the Jewish people. You have always understood and prioritized the close relationship between our regions and have collaborated on so many important endeavors. And this past May, as the ambassador mentioned, when Israel was under attack, you immediately showed your support. You were the first US governor to travel to Israel to show your solidarity with its people. I was working with Minister of Foreign Affairs, Gabi Ashkenazi at the time. And I know firsthand that your 6,000-mile journey was deeply appreciated. As Foreign Minister so graciously told you back then, Israel always remembers our true friend. And you, Governor Holcomb, are a true friend. On behalf of the State of Israel, I commend everyone who played a role in this incredible project. And as we say in Hebrew, behatzlacha, wishing all of you the best of luck in what I know will be yet another groundbreaking Israel and Indiana partnership. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Consul General, for your wonderful message. And now, please join me in welcoming Doral Davidovich, Chairman and co-founder of the Doral Group. For over 30 years, Mr. Davidovich has led real estate and energy businesses in Israel and in Europe. He holds a Bachelor of Science in Economics from Tel Aviv University. The Doral Group is Israel's leading developer, owner, and operator of renewable projects. Doral is publicly traded on the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange in Israel and is a global renewable energy leader holding hundreds of long-term revenue-generating renewable energy assets. With over 9 gigawatts direct current under development, Doral Group is active in Israel, Europe, and the United States. Doral Group is also emerging as a worldwide leader in the field of solar and storage solutions, following its win in Israel's biggest solar and storage tenders to build approximately 800 megawatt DC and 1,500 megawatt of storage facilities in Israel. Welcome.
With such a speech, I'm not needed anymore. And as you said now, I know Lisa also. Thank you very much, Governor Holcomb, for the honor to participate in this Thank you very much, Ambassador Miladardan. I appreciate it very much. And I want to take this opportunity to make it a big thank you for all of you. This is a great opportunity for us and as Israeli, with the partner, Nick, to make a huge project, a significant project in the world. And I'm proud that every one of you have chosen to do business with us. We are committed to fulfill all of our obligations, and we are proud to do it. So thank you from me to every one of you that signed with us, even if you're not here. And few constructors, we are still going to work with together, so it's going to be a very long mutual cooperation between all of us. Thank you very much for this. Doral is a company that, as I said, doing the biggest project, one of the biggest projects in the US, and we have decided that the only limit for us is our imagination. And who is responsible to break every time the limits? And we have, the owner, have to think again and to imagine again is our employees, our staff. And I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to our staff in Israel, to our staff in the US, to our staff in Europe, to our staff in Africa. As Lisa said, we are a global company. And I want to say personally to Danny, to Evan, I want to say personally to Mitali and to Maya, and I want to say personal thank you, because without the excellent guys in the company of Doral and its daughter companies, we couldn't be able to do such a big project. Thank you again, all of you. Thank you again, Mr. Governor. It's a great honor to be your friend and to have your support. See you in 18 months with the constructor here.
Thank you, Dory. It is always wonderful having you and the Israeli team here in Stark County. Next, it is my pleasure to welcome Mr. George Hirschman, President of Swinerton Renewable Energy. George Hirschman serves as President of Swinerton Renewable Energy, where he is a leading powerful transformation to position the company at the forefront of the renewable energy economy. As a prominent business leader in the solar industry, George brings over 30 years of construction experience and is widely recognized for his expertise in the engineering, construction, and management of solar power plants. SRE is a key partner in the Mammoth North project and will bring over a decade of expertise in EPC and O&M services to its development phase. Mr. Hirschman also serves as the chairman of the board of the Solar Energy Industries Association. Thank you for joining us today.
Great, thank you, Lisa. And I'm the lucky one that get to do this so often, right? So I get to sit in these kind of meetings and talk to many people in many communities about building solar all across the country. And I tell you, it is transformational to communities. We've seen it in so many places. When we talk about 500 jobs, those are 500 local jobs. Our experience tells us the best projects and the highest quality projects are built by local workforce. And so we'll come here as a neighbor and as a friend, and I heard that so much today, that this is part of a family, right? And we will commit to be stewards of your community and bring a culture and a family atmosphere. Swinerton has been lucky enough to build projects in 20 states. We were in Indianapolis before, building at the Raceway, and so the fact that we get to come back to the Hoosier state and be so welcomed, we truly look forward to being part of your family. And Nick, thank you so much in trusting us in your dream. This is an amazing project and we're happy to be a part of it. So thank you and enjoy the rest of the day. We still have irradiance outside even when the rain is out. So thank you and we really appreciate it.
Thank you, George and Swinerton, for your strong partnership. Now I am pleased to welcome Connie Neininger, Assistant Director of Hoosiers for Renewables, to the stage. Hoosiers for Renewables aims to build an Indiana where affordable and cleaner renewable energy benefits all Hoosiers. With the purpose to inform and serve consumers and businesses about renewable energy benefits for Indiana, they have been incredible partners and advocates for Mammoth Solar.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Good afternoon to all. I am honored to be here today as part of this incredible event. I am a lifelong Hoosier, and I am dedicated to renewable energy and rural economic development. I make that my passion and my career. The power of the sun is what makes life on Earth possible. From warming us on a cold winter day to growing the crops we use to feed our families and our animals. Solar power is far from being a new technology. The ability to generate energy from the sun was first demonstrated in 1839. By the end of that century, American inventors had developed an early version of the solar panel that was the beginning of today's modern solar cell. Then, in 1954, Bell Laboratories changed the face of solar energy with the announcement of their new solar technology that was hailed as a revolution in solar energy. So solar energy is not new, but it is a new type of economic development for Indiana. Economic development is a challenging profession, but even more so in rural communities. When I ask people, how do you describe economic development? Most people relate it to jobs. It's just a number, the number of jobs. Well, I'm here to tell you that economic development is not just jobs. It's about the infrastructure needs of our communities, providing state-of-the-art schools for our youth, developing a workforce that is prepared for tomorrow's technologies, ensuring we have a safe place to live, work, and play, and providing a sustainable income for our families, whether they are living in our cities or in our rural farming communities, such as Stark County. Our rural communities need a strong tax base so they can provide the needed services for their residents. That strong tax base comes from companies such as Doral, who are willing to invest $475 million in Stark County and $1.5 billion with a B in Indiana. Mammoth North Solar will work with Stark County's rural nature by providing the farmland owners a sustainable income that is not dependent on weather, federal trade policies, or global grain prices. It's homegrown, renewable energy that provides a diverse income for our farm families. Dr. Michael Hicks of Ball State completed a study on the economic impact of renewable energy in Indiana. He stated, Indiana is in the midst of a historical shift in fuel use. Guess what? That shift is now. Renewable energy growth will make Indiana more attractive to global companies looking for renewable energy. We are in unprecedented times, which calls for innovative solutions. So let's use a tried and true technology to boost economic development, especially in our rural communities. Today, we celebrate Stark County being a leader in Indiana's energy and economic development transformation as we celebrate the beginning of a new era in Stark County with Mammoth North Solar. Congratulations to Stark County officials, to Doral, and the whole team for their willingness to learn from the past, look beyond today, and work towards a better future for our children, our grandchildren, and all of Indiana. Thank you so much, and blessings to all.
Thank you, Connie, and Hoosiers for Renewables for all that you do. Another great economic development champion for Stark County is Commissioner Mark Hurley, representing Stark County's 1st District at the Stark County government. Thank you, Commissioner, for being here with us today.
Well, I just want to start off thanking all of you for coming out. It's so great to see so many of my friends and neighbors here to support this project. I especially want to thank the ambassador for coming out here. Mr. Ambassador, thank you for coming to my home. It is greatly appreciated. Thank you, Governor, for coming out. It's always good to see you here. Fortunately, you've said most of the things I wanted to highlight here. This is, I can't think of a better word than momentous for Stark County. I've never in my life seen anything like this project here, and it's almost stunning me speechless to see it actually happen. I want to commend the team that put this project together for their diligence working through all the challenges we've seen so far and continuing this. I look forward to seeing the successful completion of this project. It will be a great thing for Stark County, for Indiana, for the United States, and for Israel. The only thing left after everyone said what they said to highlight, I think, is to reiterate that this energy that we harvest here in Stark County is going to power lives throughout the country. And it'll be added to the long list of goods that we produce here, which extend our reach and our resourcefulness beyond just the 312 square miles within the Stark County borders to the country and globally. I'm proud to call Stark County my home, and this project just serves to make me even more proud. Thank you all.
Thanks, Mark. Mammoth Solar is not only a major landmark for both Stark and Pulaski counties, it is first and foremost a partnership between Doral LLC and the community, and mostly the landlords. Without them, we wouldn't be here today. The project spreads over 13,000 acres and involves over 50 landlords. These landlords are coming from different backgrounds, and their stories and connection for the land date back as far as 100 years. I am thrilled to welcome Ralph Swanson to share some remarks on behalf of the landlords.
On behalf of the landowners involved in this project, welcome to the Mammoth North my brain's not checking. Groundbreaking ceremony today. Most of us are long-term local residents with a vested interest in Bass Lake, Stark County, and the surrounding area. I myself am a lifelong Bass Lake resident, and my family has had a continuous presence at Bass Lake since before 1870. At that time, the population consisted of a few scattered homesteads engaged in subsistence farming and hunter-gathering. But progress came to Bass Lake swiftly. Within 30 years, Bass Lake was a tourist destination where visitors arrived by railroad and were transported to their hotels by steamboat. However, in the springtime, the fastest way to get to Knox was still by canoe. The technology soon ushered Stark County into the 20th century. The dredging of drainage ditches allowed for the construction of modern roadway networks, which in turn allowed for home construction throughout the county, plus improvement in farm production and operation. These events were followed by electricity and telephones in rural areas. These technological advances created the opportunity for the modern era we enjoy today. All of our lives are touched by the advent of computers and cell phones and the myriad other inventions that make our lives more productive and convenient in the 21st century. Thanks largely to the initiative of the Mammoth North leadership and the foresight of the leadership of Stark County, I am proud to have the opportunity to be part of a project that will help to bring economic prosperity and an environmentally friendly power source to our county, our country, and our world. And once again, thank you for coming to our groundbreaking ceremony.
Thank you, Ralph. And now the moment that we've all been waiting for. I'd like to welcome the Ambassador, the Governor, Consul General, Secretary of Commerce, Dory, Nick, and special guest Gertrude Welker for the ribbon cutting ceremony. Ms. Welker has resided in Stark County since the 1950s, when some folks used lanterns to light up their homes, and she now has the privilege to participate in the inauguration of the largest solar project in the Midwest, which will supply green energy to the region.